I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host Shalom Klein has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
And indeed, we are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's get started with our good friend, returning guest, and as I always say, the guru of everything health insurance. I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Tom Miroballi. Tom, welcome back to the program.
Oh, thanks for having me. How's everybody doing?
You know what? It's I can't believe it. It's already the end of January. We're actually speaking on the show on the final day in January, and that means that we still have just a couple hours left in our opportunity to do New Year's resolutions. And I know that you have been busy. You have been very, very busy, my friend. So let's jump right into it. It's a new year. In my family, my dad, as some of you may know, is in accounting. So it's a busy time of year. It's tax season, but health insurance, you're always busy, aren't you?
All year long.
I always love to pick your brain on the calls that you are receiving. And I'll give you a shout out because I know that you are getting calls at all hours of the day and night, and you return calls almost immediately. So tell us a little bit about some of the questions that are coming in to your hotline. And what are some of the inquiries that you've been able to help problem solve on?
Well, my typical caller basically says, I heard your advertisement on WIND, and I have to lower my costs. My plan under the Unaffordable Care Act is what I call it. Under the ACA, my premiums went up 35%. Well, I can handle that, and I'm 63 years old. What do I need maternity coverage for? So, my message is getting across because my short-term major medical plans that I've been selling for 26 years do not include any sort of maternity coverage. There are no mandates, and you do have to go ahead and qualify. You cannot have insulin-dependent diabetes. You can't have a heart attack in the last 6 months. There are stipulations and guidelines. There are a lot of healthy people out there who are taking advantage of my plans, and they, let's call it re-enlist. They re-enroll once their policy terminates. I can re-enroll them immediately. And these are PPO plans. And it is a very, very, very huge savings for the client. I'm saving people over $6,000 a year or more.
And Tom, what I always love to highlight about everything that you do is you essentially almost guarantee coverage, that there's not a one size fits all approach. There's not a one price fits all approach.
Correct.
But you are able to find a way to get folks the coverage, even as I keep saying in this era of COVID, and I can't believe that, again, we're continuing this conversation in 2021, but unfortunately, we all know somebody that has been affected, either health, mental health, or employment. So some people may have lost their jobs in the midst of COVID and now have to shop around for a new health insurance plan. They may have some pre-existing conditions. So what is the approach that you and the amazing team at the Guru of Tom Miroballi takes to get those folks the coverage that they need?
Well, right up front, I ask them if they have any pre-existing conditions. And if they say, yeah, Tom, I have insulin-dependent diabetes, I am 5 foot tall and weigh 400 pounds. Well, you're going to have a heart condition too. I can insure that person, any person with any pre-existing condition, I can insure that person through the Affordable Care Act. That's the only good thing about the Affordable Care Act. The problem is I call it the Unaffordable Care Act Because to give you an example, if I have a 63-year-old woman, who is perfectly healthy, but she does not need the maternity coverage, the least expensive plan under the Unaffordable Care Act is $876 per month. And that carries a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,550 before the client is covered at 100%. On my short-term plans, I can give that same woman, healthy woman, a $2,500 deductible that would cost her $487 per month. And it's a PPO. She can use any doctor, any hospital that she wants. Now, big difference between $8,550 total out of pocket and $2,500. That's over $6,000 just in that. And then the premium savings is going to be $389 per month that she's going to save. So, and there's no mandates to these plans. There is no maternity coverage. So that is the key to my plans, that older people, basically over 40, 45, you can still have a baby at 40, but they don't need the maternity coverage. So they come right over. And I've been doing this for over 26 years. And it's a proven method.
Tom, you're supposed to be making friends on the show. You just called you just aged so many folks out there. So I'm going to have to switch to a more positive note over here. You are finding again that guaranteed coverage, the affordable solutions, and you work as I know you've shared in the past, with all sorts of different providers. So I know that on your website, you talk about some of the plans from Blue Cross Blue Shield, but you shop around and you do the work for your customers. So what are some of the hot plans right now that people are taking advantage of?
Well, the best plans are the short-term major medical plans. And unfortunately, Blue Cross Blue Shield has decided to stay with the Affordable Care Act and dropped a short-term plan that they were selling for years. And when the Affordable Care Act came out, Blue Cross dropped their short-term plan. So the next best down the line is United Healthcare, who they own a company called Golden Rule. And Golden Rule Insurance Company was an independently owned company years ago out of Indianapolis. And United Healthcare purchased them. And United Healthcare also is in Indianapolis. But a Golden Rule has a short-term plan, the length of the policy. And with our illustrious governor, I'll be polite, President Trump said that you can have these plans from 30 days to 360 days and then renew them for another 360 days. And all the states have jurisdiction. So what Mr. Pritzker did is to stem the tide of people leaving the Affordable Care Act. Why are they leaving? Because it's too expensive. There's too much cash out of pocket. And they're opting for the short-term major medical plans. So they're all coming, a lot of people are coming over to my $2 million plan, but Pritzker, to try to stop the trend, will only let people go from 30 days to 6 months, 180 days. Then the client has to wait 61 days if they want to go back to the United Healthcare Golden Rule policy once it terminates. Well, I have other companies that sell short-term plans. One is called Pivot Health. They have two companies that basically will allow continuous coverage, and but they're only $1 million worth of coverage. Well, when people look at $1 million, they say, oh my gosh, that's not enough. For $2 million, oh, that's not enough. Well, tell me how many people you know that have survived after $2 million worth of damage to their body. I only know of one who was substantially hurt. And $2 million is plenty. And you always have a fallback.
Absolutely. I've been chatting with Tom Miroballi, the health insurance guru. And Tom, sorry to cut you off, but I want to make sure that our listeners know where they can get in touch with you. And what I'm always amazed, and the reason I call you the guru is because you do the research, you follow the policy, you shop around the plans to make sure that your customers are getting the best prices and the best plans. So Tom, how can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more?
They can call me at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477. Or they can contact me on the web at www.healthinsuranceplanschicago.com. That's healthinsuranceplanschicago.com.
Well, Tom, I can't wait to continue the conversation with you in the next couple of weeks. And I hope all of our listeners get in touch with you. And I also hope that our listeners visit our website at shalomklein.com, where you can link to our friend Tom Miroballi, as well as get podcasts and the downloads from each and every one of the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. That website, again, is shalomklein.com. Also has another podcast called We All Serve, where I speak with military leaders and veterans about leadership lessons and service. We'll be right back.